Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kisha. I blog every day at kjaggers.com. That link is in the down bar, as well as links to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're all listed out, and I would love it if you followed along on social media. You'll get more pictures and more updates instead of just videos. So I am back with a new reflecting video. I love making these videos, you guys. I love looking back on the previous month, and this past month was a big one for us. So May 2016 was the first full month that we have lived in this new house in Indiana. So obviously we moved up. There's lots of videos about that if you're new to my channel. I'll try to link some in just in case you want to check them out. But it was very exciting and different and busy. It was almost like I switched lives. Like, you know, when Scott and I lived away from where I consider home, Indiana and Kentucky, like Louisville, Kentucky, just a couple minutes from my house, is basically home to me. My family lived here. Brittany lived here. Our oldest daughter, Laura, lived here. And, you know, my grandma's here and all of my uncles and, you know, just all of my family, including Scott. Most of his family is here. So, you know, it just changed. Whenever I was away, living in, let's see, where did we live? We lived Ohio, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So when we lived in those states, it seemed like, you know, I didn't have a lot of friends, because, you know, I don't trust people that easy. I just don't. And it's hard to make friends the older you get, like really good friends. And the really good friends I had or have are here in this state. So I was alone a lot, and I wasn't very social. And then I get moved here, and honestly, my family and Brittany and the other kids are really like forcing me out of my comfort zone. And it really wasn't a comfort zone. It was a hiding zone. It's where I could hide, like when I was in another state. I didn't have to go to a lot of functions. Jackson wasn't very active in sports. And I was able just to be in the house a lot, which honestly was amazing. But it didn't do anything for my confidence. It didn't do anything for, like, socialization. I just struggled with that. And, you know, obviously a lot of the stuff I did was online. So I was talking to my friends on Facebook who were up here and on the phone with family and friends. And it seemed like it just allowed me to be in a shell. So when we moved up here, the first couple of weeks was all about, well, the first couple of days was all about getting that big U-Haul unpacked. It was about getting the house set up just good enough to live in. Good enough to find the forks, the plates, the shampoos, the conditioners, just the necessities, because we had to put Jackson and Zane right in school. We moved them during the school year. A lot of people actually judged us for that, and I understand why. But I also have to look at the fact of what did my kids think, Jackson and Zane? What did their grades reflect? How would their teachers feel about it? Would it be hard for them to start a new school? And we dealt with that within a family unit. It wasn't just us pulling the plug and saying, we're going. It was like long discussions and, you know, do we move now? Do we move in the beginning of the school year or in the summer? You know, it was a lot. So basically the way I felt was, you know what? This is where they're going to be full time. This is where we're going to be probably forever, at least until the kids are out of college. So we might as well get them up there. It's not going to hurt anything. Their grades are still really good. Jackson's grades are good. So we just moved them. And, when I got up here, they all had a lot of things going on. You know, the school, Brittany moving in, Jackson moving out. A lot of people judged us on that as well. And the truth is I just want the kids happy. If Jackson's happier at his father's house where he can hunt and go fishing and do a lot of like the boyish stuff, then okay, so be it. It's not like I live on a different planet. He is, you know, right beside me, basically. So we really wanted to make sure that all of our kids would be content and would be happy. But I didn't realize how serious it would be in terms of not being home as much. I really didn't. I didn't think about that. I mean, I did on a small level. Like, sure, I have to go to games for Brittany because neither of the boys were signed up for anything. So she was like the only athletic one, which is still kind of strange. I don't have an athletic bone in my body. But, I knew I'd have to get out a little bit, but it's been so much different than that. Brittany just like carts me off everywhere. Like, we have this to go do, Mom. We have this to go do. And so just sitting in the house now is just not an option. And now Zane has signed up for soccer in the month of May, and Jackson signed up for soccer, and Zane signed up for football. And, there's lots of things going on with that. There are camps, and there is cheer practice. There's soccer practice. There's, there was tryouts. There's all kinds of things that are keeping me occupied. So I'm no longer just sitting in the house twiddling my thumbs. Now I'm really trying to figure out time and when I can do this and when I can do that. And our calendar has made a huge difference in our life in the month of May. And I actually have a new Plan With Me video coming up tomorrow. So definitely stay tuned for that. And you'll see like the craziness. But in the midst of all the craziness, around the 10th of May, my great aunt Faye passed away. And that was difficult. I mean, she was a lovely lady. She could paint really well. She had an amazing family, and I have some amazing memories at her house. And that meant my mom flew in, and, my mom is so opposite me. She was like Little Miss Social Bee. Like, she's just so happy, and, I mean, she wasn't actually happy at the funeral, but her disposition is so much happier than me. And she just seems not to be scared of any like social surrounding, not a funeral, not a bar, not a party, not games. My mom just doesn't have that. So when she was here and we were going through all the funeral stuff, I got a calendar here as well, on Friday and Saturday, on Thursday and Friday, the 12th and 13th, I really watched my mom. I sat with my grandmother who has Parkinson's disease, and she's just not in good shape, but she was there. It was her sister. I really watched my mom. And, my mom didn't raise me, but she was there, like, through everything. And as you get older, you see more and more similarities and differences as well with your parents. At least I feel like you do. And I was watching her just be her, and it was beautiful to see. And it kind of helped me again come out of my shell a little bit, because I watched how she just went up and just started talking to people. And I know it just sounds strange, but I was amazed at how social she was. And I know she's always like that. My mom like basically never meets a stranger, kind of like Scott. And it was just interesting. I was just taken by my own mom. Like, she's beautiful, she's funny, she's charismatic, she is intelligent, and she's not scared of anything in the social setting. So I really want to be more like that. So I watched her a lot, and I was just impressed. I mean, it was still sad. My grandmother cried a lot. My mom had some tears at different times. But, we understand how life works and how life ends. And I wasn't like devastated, but I felt horrible for her family, like her immediate family. But it was a big lesson to me during that time on, it's okay to talk to people, even people you might not know that well or remember that well. It's okay to do that. And then on Friday we had like all of my cousins, well, all except for I think one, and he's not very nice. But we had all of my cousins, and they are amazing. Like, we're not kids anymore. We all have our own families, and we all have things going on. So we're almost like different people, but we're not. So I had such an amazing time with them. I'm still talking to them a lot now. And those 2 days, by the way, the Thursday and the Friday, the 12th and 13th, well, the 9th, New Albany High School cheerleading tryouts was going on. So every day after school, the girls had to go to the high school and they had to practice and learn the school song and learn some cheer routines and practice tumbling. They had to do that, and it was tryouts for the whole week. So on Thursday, I had to take Brittany after the funeral. Like, I'm in high heels and I'm tired because it's an hour away, and I spent quite a few hours there. I had to come back and take her shopping for like the proper clothes to wear during the tryouts on Friday, the big tryout day. So much was going on in my life on Friday. Both Kinsey and Brittany and a few of our other friends had the big tryouts, and they got their final decisions. And I am dealing with the funeral. Wasn't getting along with Scott that day, and it was just absolutely chaos on terms of scheduling. But I got back home just in time to get Brittany, and both girls made it, and they were so excited, and they worked really hard, and I couldn't be prouder of them. And then the next day, Brittany and I hung out with my mom and my grandma, and it was just a lovely day. Just a really great time with my mom. I broke my phone on Saturday, and I had to replace it that following Sunday, which sucked, but it's basically the same one, just a different color. Like I said, Jackson enrolled in soccer, and we were planning on enrolling him after, school had let out in South Carolina, because he had talked about it a lot. Him and Zane had played a lot, but once he got moved up here, Art kind of took over that, and I will be at games and all of that coming soon. And Zane, again, tried out for football, and has football camp and all of that, and practices start in July for him. So again, I'm really coming out of the social shell that I have. Now, I still have a big wall around me. What's interesting is I go to Walmart or I go to Myers, and I see someone, or someone sees me, and they're like, "Do you remember me?" And no, not really. So it's confusing for me in a lot of ways, because I don't remember a lot of the people, and people have changed and they look different, and it's hard, but lots going on. Scott and I had, quite a few disagreements the first week of May. We just were not getting along. And, I know so many YouTubers get on here and they talk about how life is great for them. And they talk about how, they are happy. But it's not always like that for us. We are so hard-headed that we clash sometimes. And the whole first week of May sucked marriage-wise. And, when we really got to the bottom of it, like, really, why are we so unhappy? Obviously, I was nervous about the new job. I'm carrying a lot around with me about that. He was nervous as well about that job. And we had not made, any time for each other. He had came up here and worked, and we were home alone for 3 weeks, and then he's back home for a week, but we're packing, and we're getting the U-Haul ready, and we're doing all of that kind of stuff, and then we move, and we're unpacking, and so we made zero time for each other. Well, now we're incorporating date night a lot more, so we went for a wonderful date night at Sapporo's. Is that how you say it? Sapporo's? It's the Japanese beer. And we had sushi, and it was off the chain, probably some of the best sushi I've ever had. And we're just doing better at taking care of our relationship. Because if not, the kids are going to suffer, the animals. We really need to pull it together, act like adults, and remember that we can get through anything. And I think that we both have that in our head. I think we both understand that. I don't see Scott and I splitting up. It just really isn't an option. We also had the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness. So we had like a small little derby party with the kids, and Brittany actually won $30 on her horse. And then Scott went to a Preakness party, and I didn't go to that, but a lot of this is in the day in the life vlogs as well, so I hope you're watching those. I did get a new P.O. box. It's listed in the down bar during the month of May, and I was really excited. Many of you have asked where you could send something, and I just kind of put it off, but now we have one. If you're interested in that address, it's on my blog under the Contact Me form. It's in the down bar, and it's also in the information part of YouTube, like the About on my channel. So it's there for you. We also had the last day of school on the 27th, and that's a little bit different because the South Carolina schedule and the Indiana schedule school-wise is about 2 weeks off from each other. So Jackson, if he was in South Carolina, I believe he would still be in school right now. And the kids here start back up July 27th. Now, when we were in South Carolina, it was like around August of that time. So here the kids are considered to go to schools year-round, and they do get breaks, though. So they are currently on summer break and loving every bit of it. Also, we had Mother's Day. I got my mom... Oh, God, I hope it's at her house. She's on a trip. I hope she's not watching, but I got her this thing to hold her phone around her neck. I know it's strange, but it does. It works like this. It's pink, and it's great. It's a hands-free type of thing where you can still have your phone instead of putting it in your back pocket. My mom is doing a lot of dog training, and it's kind of like a job for her, basically. And so I thought it would be great to have her phone where she could, I don't know. She loves those kind of gadgets. And then I got her like a personalized beach towel with different pictures. It's like you send in your pictures, and it's collage.com. So I did that, and that was Mother's Day gifts. And then on Memorial Day, we just kind of hung out as a family. And then on the 31st was my oldest son's birthday. Can you believe I have a 20-year-old son? Oh, time has really flown by, and I haven't really been with him in a long time. He had major issues, and I was so young, and, you know, back when he was a baby 20 years ago, the ADHD was really not being studied, and the Asperger's was just really not being studied full force. There was really no doctors that would help me, and I just struggled a lot. So he stayed with his grandparents, and I really want that relationship to be different. So we're working on that. It's a touchy subject. All the kids are touchy subjects to me because I love them all. Even if I'm not with them every second of the day, it doesn't mean that I don't carry love for them. And I love all of our kids. Now, in terms of movies I watched, there wasn't a ton of movies in May, or maybe I was just so busy I didn't get to watch that many, but I watched Dirty Grandpa. That was pretty cute. It was okay. I watched The Finest Hours, and that was really good. I watched, and I think I mentioned this in my favorites or in my last one, but I actually watched it like May 1st, was a royal night out about Queen Elizabeth getting to have a fun night out when her father became king. So that was really fun. I watched Dr. Thorne. It's a new series. It's not one of my favorite ones. It is done by the directors and writers of Downton Abbey. Still not the best, though. And then another series that I watched from the Discovery Channel was When We Left Earth. And there's like 6 or 7 different shows. I was going to say videos. About, you know, astronauts and leaving the planet and space travel. And for some reason, that just makes me happy. And, you know, another thing that we've done a lot in May is walk Cooper. And I never really walked him because we had such a huge backyard. I didn't like the neighborhood, didn't like the neighbors that much. Didn't want to be watched by everybody because it was a very nosy kind of area that we lived in when I walked Cooper, and I just didn't do it. We threw the ball for him a lot. We put him on the treadmill. We would take him hiking and stuff, just not, in our neighborhood. Here, I feel so much better about walking him, so I'm doing a lot more. I still have my Fitbit on. Follow me on Fitbit. It is simply, I think it's Kisha Jaggers. I don't think it's K Jaggers. Let me see. I'll just make sure real quick. No, I think it is Kisha Jaggers. So I need to put that in the down bar as well, but you can follow along. Some days you'll see we only got one walk in. Some days you'll see that I might be low on steps till 11 p.m. when I take Cooper for a night walk. I mean, it's just been really good on Cooper, obviously, and it's really good for clearing my head, getting some exercise in my life a little bit more, and I enjoy it. So, obviously, he's a long-haired dog, and so many of you got mad at me for giving him a lion cut because of the down coat that's supposed to keep him cool in the summer and warm in the winter. He felt so much better. I know what people say, but I know my dog felt better. But I don't want to shave him down. He does need to be groomed up a bit. But I've been walking him in the mornings and in the evenings and night, and not during the heat of the day because it's just too hard on him. Another thing that, like I mentioned in the beginning about Jackson living at his dad's, I want Jackson to be happy. I want Jackson to do what makes Jackson happy. I want, he struggled with depression and anxiety and ADHD, and he's slowly maturing out of that, at least some of it. But obviously he missed his dad, and I knew that, and Art knew that, and we just was trying to figure out when he would move back in with his dad. We knew it would happen. My ex is a big hunter, and he's a big fisherman, and all that kind of stuff, and honestly, that's not really the kind of stuff we do. And sure, I could have went and read a book while Jackson fished, and, there's been a couple times I actually did do that, but it just wasn't something that we really, Scott and I, believe in. We don't believe in just killing animals for fun. So it's completely the other end of the spectrum on that with both of his parents. So it was definitely something I didn't want to do, and something my ex-husband did do and would do and currently does. So Jackson is happy and content, at his dad's. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and tell you I'm totally happy about it. I'm not. I'm not going to, some people were remarking that if Jackson doesn't do something video worthy, you don't see him on camera. And that is so not true. Only someone who is full of shit would say that, because obviously I can't film Jackson every day if he is at his dad's. And if it's a big moment like a birthday or a special game or just, a school sport or whatever, obviously I'm going to try to film it and keep those memories. But Jackson's been on camera a bazillion times, so I don't understand why anyone is saying that. Bank accounts, I set up all new bank accounts in the month of May, which took me about 3 hours. I know that sounds crazy, but it took a while at the bank, and so we got all of that transferred and done, and it's just like we're becoming citizens again. Also, on Facebook, I'm starting to share older videos that are relevant to the time, to the season, that maybe you haven't seen before. So definitely subscribe, you guys. I don't want you to miss any, and you can always check out my playlist as well if you, want to see what other videos are out there that I've made. So another thing in the month of May that I don't like, and some of this goes hand in hand. I dealt with a lot of internet trolls, a lot of nasty comments, and that kind of goes back to Jackson and his dad's, and like me saying, if someone saying that it's all Brittany right now. Well, it's not all Brittany, but I haven't been with Brittany on a daily basis in a long time, so maybe it does feel like you guys are seeing Brittany more. but all the kids have been in my videos. Zane is the least one because social services said for a long time, you can't have pictures up in your house of him. You cannot, I mean, we could, but if I film them, like if I had a picture of Zane on that wall back there, and I happened just to be holding the camera vlogging and I shared it, it would be like a violation of the judge's order. And I was being watched by his mom at that point and all these people from social services. So I couldn't have pictures of Zane. I couldn't have videos of Zane. I got in trouble actually for showing 5 plates at one time. No, 4 plates. I'm sorry. It was me, Jackson, Scott, and Zane. So in a What's Cooking video, some of you guys figured out instead of 3 plates, we had 4. And I actually got in trouble for it. I didn't get in trouble. I just kind of, had a talking to. So there is no chance that, I wanted to make a mistake and have Zane in there and lose everything because of that. So, a lot of our family pictures did not have him in them. We had some that I was very careful not to film because obviously I don't want him feeling left out. But a lot of the trolls were like pointing out that Zane wasn't on camera, that Jackson's not on camera, that only it's Brittany, and it's whatever kid is around. I don't try to show Scott as much. I don't try to show the kids as much. I show what I want to show because it's my channel. And I get to make those decisions. But a lot of emails came in. It was just insane. Like, I don't know what makes someone actually want to harass somebody else. There's so many fake stories about me, like how I hate how Jen does it. I love a lot of her videos. How I fight with this one or fight with that one. I'm fighting with no YouTubers whatsoever. No legitimate YouTubers. There was one that, I'm not going to get started on. But the trolls made it really hard for me. Seemed like the more videos I put up, the worse things they had to say. And then I just realized that it's not really, it's not really people I care about. And if there are people I care about that are talking trash about me or acting like they care about me and then going on that website, then it shows really more their character than it does mine. And to be very blunt, if I ever found that out, I would cut them completely out of my life. That is something that I've done in May. And a lot of people might be wondering, but now this does not go to my best friend, and I want to say that, Shanna, this is not for you, because I haven't talked to her as much because I've been so busy. But for a lot of people, I have cut them completely out of my life. If they do not have my family's best interest at heart or my best interest at heart, I don't want them in my life. I don't want them filling my head with their opinions, their advice, because I listen to advice from so many different sources, from you guys, from my mom, from my husband, from my kids, and I choose what works for me. I don't take anyone's particular advice because they give it. If it doesn't feel right to me, I don't take it. But I have really done a great job of narrowing down the people I want in my everyday life. There are some people, and I really don't want to name names, that I just don't want in my life. They are not helping me in any kind of way. They do not have our best interest at heart. So I just cut them out. So besides Shanna, if you haven't heard from me, it's for a reason. And yeah, there you go on that. But I am not worrying about what they say anymore or what they're doing, because it's just that like a river that flows. One minute they have something bad to say and it kind of flows down the river till the next minute, until something else comes, and it's just ever flowing. So, some people don't like me, and if you don't like me, don't watch my videos. It's so simple. And, sometimes I get in an argument in the comments. There was a video, I think the last day in the life vlog, where, I called a woman a bitch because she really was. And then she sent me an email. How dare you? Well, you know what? Keep your opinions to yourself if they're nasty. I don't want to hear them. I will delete them. It's my channel. And clearly they have all those, hate sites they can go post their bullshit on. So I have done my very best to realize that people are liars, like my stepmom, like different trolls that have harassed us. They're going to continue to do what they're going to do. But guess what? They have no impact in our lives. They have no impact in my marriage. They have no impact in my children's lives. And they are just meaningless. They're just... ugh. So, I've been doing a lot better, and I didn't want to get on a tangent, but I wanted to talk about it because, you know, some of my behavior hasn't been perfect. I will say that, because I do sometimes fight back. So, and really, they don't deserve time, energy, or even thoughts. They're just cowards. So, for upcoming videos, and I've got my video schedule all planned out for the month of May, and halfway planned out for the month of June. And we have a lot more videos with cooking vlogs. I really am sorry I didn't get one up on Sunday. It was just so short. I thought you guys would hate it. More planner videos, more plan with me's, which is coming up tomorrow. More reviews, because I love trying out new products. I definitely try to give giveaways, especially if it's a sponsored type of video. And even if it's sponsored, it doesn't mean that I'm just like blabbing because it's sponsored. I'm telling you the truth. If it's not exactly my favorite thing, I will tell you. Many more organizational videos. Now, I don't think I have a lot for May. I think I might have one or two. But as we organize different spots within this home of ours, I will definitely be sharing that with you. And I'll share some more cleaning routines. I have tons of zone cleaning videos up if you haven't seen those already on our past house. And again, check out Facebook, because I'm going to be linking a lot of different older videos on Facebook and Instagram. So, you know, I'd love for you guys to check those out as well. All the videos for organizing and all of that will be tagged with the Indiana home, so you guys know, you know, that they're not older videos. They are newer ones. And if they say Indiana, it is Indiana. So that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just sit down and I try to reflect. There's a blog post that goes with this video. You can find it on kjaggers.com. If it's not up exactly when this video goes live, don't worry, it will be. Usually the videos go live on YouTube a little bit before I get them on the blog. And speaking of the blog, I do have to work on my quick week in review and add in the last food haul, because I did not get those posted yet. So I got to play catch up as well. If you have any questions or comments, leave those below. I would love to know how your May went, what you're looking forward to in June. I do plan on putting a video up telling you like some of our summer plans. I do just plan on having, you know, videos hopefully every single day. I love being on schedule. I love sharing with you guys, and I'm going to do the best I can. So please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this reflecting video. Check out the blog at kjaggers.com. I will see you very soon.